What does 2026 have in store for us? If you are curious to look at the new year through the lens of Vedic astrology, Jyotish, I invite you to explore a brief analysis of the natal chart of the newborn year and, as you may already sense, to view it as a living personality in its own right. 2026. Who is ruling? Rahu is ruling. Rahu presses the accelerator on technological progress, artificial intelligence, and everything connected with the sky and electricity, aerospace and aviation, energy systems, and experiments with gravitational fields. Rahu is placed in his own sign, Aquarius, and in the nakshatra Shatabhisha, also ruled by Rahu. The name Shatabhisha translates as 100 doctors or 100 healers. Rahu propels us into the future. He is what we call the engine of progress. May we finally witness breakthroughs in the treatment of complex and hard-to-cure diseases. The symbol of Shatabhisha is an empty circle. Rahu promotes protectionism, the idea of gathering one's own, and a sense of exclusivity. We are likely to see this us versus them dynamic across many areas of life, along with a growing desire for protection from what feels foreign. This will increase the demand of institutions and structures that promise safety. The deity of Shatabhisha is Varuna, the eldest of the Adityas and the supreme ruler of the cosmic waters. He envelopes the universe and the cosmic ocean while binding it with the law of justice. His gaze penetrates even the darkest corners, including those of the human soul. Rahu jumps head first into these themes, having a head only. In the Navamsha, Rahu falls into Pisces. His insatiable nature turns toward healing abilities and compassion. Pisces is also a sign of rich imagination, while Rahu is a master of illusion and obscuring truth. As a result, Rahu will strongly stimulate creativity, especially in fields like cinema and visual storytelling. In Pisces, Rahu feels as if on vacation, which explains the surprisingly light, playful, and benevolent undertone of his expression the end of this year. Rahu cannot be considered without his counterpart, Ketu, which points us toward the past. Ketu represents the accumulated experience of previous generations, living with us as intuition. His task is to extract the soul that has become lost in the material world. Ketu is sharp, sudden, severing, and deeply spiritual. In the natal chart of 2026, Ketu is placed in Leo, in the Venus-ruled nakshatra Purva Phalguni, whose energies are associated with rest, pleasure, relaxation, and attraction between the genders. Her symbol is a bed or hammock, and her deity is Bhaga, another Aditya, responsible for marital happiness and prosperity. At first glance, these themes seem completely opposed to Ketu's mission. Yet, Ketu's position, especially in the second part of Purva Phalguni, is considered one of the most favorable material placements for Ketu. The key concept of Purva Phalguni is maintaining harmony, forming alliances, and enjoying the role of a generous, hospitable host. All areas where ancestral wisdom is invaluable. This placement promises wealth and family happiness. Toward the end of the year, however, it may also bring perseverance, intense work, enthusiasm, and inner restlessness. Why? Because in the Navamsha, Ketu joins Mars and Virgo, two fiery entrepreneurial energies focused on action and effort. How the mental atmosphere of the year will be. The moon at the birth of the year is in Rohini Nakshatra. The mind is inclined toward sincerity, truthfulness, gentle and pleasant speech, and beautifying one's appearance. Rohini's task is to multiply and preserve material wealth. Her symbol is a bullock cart. Transportation and vehicles are highlighted, suggesting the possibility of acquiring a dream car this year for you. Rohini governs growth and is one of the most auspicious nakshatras. She has refined taste in clothing, interior design, music and art. No wonder she is considered the favorite wife of Chandra, the moon. We can expect growth in all industries connected with these themes. In the Navamsha, the moon moves into Aries, intensifying passions, emotions, indulgence in desires, and the craving for instant results. Everything and preferably right now. There is notable concentration of planets in Sagittarius, with 3 out of 4 occupying the nakshatra Purva Ashadha. The Sun. The Sun represents awareness of one's true self, responsibility, leadership, and the ability to illuminate others. In Purva Ashadha, a nakshatra convinced of her own invincibility, the Sun of 2026 manifests as a proud, even arrogant leader, taking responsibility in an aggressive manner. As a Venusian nakshatra, Purva Ashadha also brings a love of comfort and wealth. This placement, especially in the first pada, promises prosperity, authority, and success, particularly in a family business. In the Navamsha, the Sun enters Leo, his own sign, reinforcing spirituality, strong ethical principles, pride, confidence, and, at times, overconfidence. Numerologically, 2026 is also a Sun year, amplifying these qualities. In addition to the Sun, which is traditionally placed here at the beginning of the calendar year, and the sidereal zodiac as a reminder, both Venus and Mars are also in Purva Ashadha. All of them are combust. While this is relatively normal for Mercury, who is also in Sagittarius, for Venus and Mars it is quite critical. Let's look at Venus. Venus is in her own nakshatra and enjoys the Sagittarian themes of adventure, travel, philosophy, optimism, and enthusiasm. As the significator of marriage, Venus may shift attention toward relationships and union. However, because Venus is combust, relationships may struggle, becoming overly emotional and dramatic. In the Navamsha, Venus joins the Sun in Leo, bringing by years and a heightened attraction to royalty, luxury, and splendor. The third occupant of the nakshatra Purva Ashadha is Mars. Mars, the planet of action, is ambitious and relentless in achieving goals. Purva Ashadha suits Mars well. After being entrenched in Scorpio, he is now ready for open confrontation and decisive action. However, Mars is also combust, losing some of his power. His proximity to Venus further complicates matters. Despite popular belief, Venus and Mars together are not passionate, and they do not necessarily indicate harmony. Mars is a celibate warrior, focused on battle. Venusian instructions confuse and hinder his mission. And in Navamsha, Mars enters Virgo, channeling energy and intellectual effort, discipline, and career advancement through hard work. And finally, Mercury, the fourth planetary presence in Sagittarius. Mercury is placed in Mula Nakshatra, second pada. Mula's symbol is bundled roots, representing deep penetration into hidden realms. Mercury here favors profound research, analytical thinking, and scientific inquiry. Close to the Sun, Mercury becomes highly active. This placement supports advancement in pharmacognosy or pharmaceutical biology and the treatment of poorly understood diseases. Mercury in Mula seeks the roots of existence and uncovers deep meanings. Let's look at the social planets. Jupiter. Jupiter plays an enormous, a huge role in 2026, as he is himself a huge planet. Strong and Vargottama, his energy are aligned with his future potential. Currently retrograde in Gemini, Jupiter completes unfinished work in communication toward themes like philosophy, religion, and self-knowledge. Jupiter resides in his own nakshatra Punarvasu, symbolized by a quiver of eros, renewal of energy, or potential of energy. Her deity Aditi embodies infinity, freedom, and abundance. Jupiter's message from Punarvasu is to remain adaptable, wise, and joyful in all circumstances. Punarvasu introduced ethics into human evolution, shifting focus from self-interest to collective well-being. Jupiter here encourages noble behavior, compromise, and moral integrity. Being in the third part of Punarvasu, he grants wealth through friends. The Sagittarius cluster casts a quadruple aspect on Jupiter, enhancing honor, recognition, family happiness, good manners, eloquence, and even military careers. Only Venus, Jupiter's rival, casts a challenging influence, potentially bringing difficulties in relationships with the opposite gender. In March, Jupiter turns direct and in June enters Cancer, his sign of exaltation, blessing the year with prosperity, marital harmony, children, and domestic comfort. And finally, the Saturn, the second or truly social planet, as Saturn represents society, the masses, and ordinary people. In Pisces, Saturn becomes a silent advisor and diplomat, encouraging compassion, charity, and service. His people are often benefactors and volunteers focused on other needs rather than their own. Saturn's message in Pisces is clear: do not hoard wealth, share it. Pisces, the final zodiac sign, requires letting go of material attachments to evolve spirituality. Saturn, the lord of time and karma, reminds us that only karma is carried beyond death. Saturn's placement in Purva Bhadrapada, symbolized by a funeral bier and a two-faced figure at the threshold between worlds, emphasizes repentance, remorse, and spiritual purification. Through inner limitation and reflection, Saturn here elevates the soul and can even lead to higher social standing. And in Navamsha, Saturn enters Cancer, blessing material security, mercy, emotional intelligence, and strong social skills. This is the astrological portrait of the newborn years 2026 as I see it. That's all for today. I sincerely wish you the very best in the coming already arrived new year, and I look forward to meeting you again soon. Bye bye.